Just going to do a super quick video here. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard. So, pretty past market close here, but I want to talk through the current trades that we're in on and a couple positions that we're looking at as far as things that are set up. So, I made a little scratch pad down here just to talk about where I see positions of positional interest and then positions of tradable interest. So, one being, where are traders, speculators too heavily stacked and going in the other direction. The other just being potential trades, swing trades, day trades. So I'm going to talk through active positions real quick right now. So we're in on a short on gold. I really don't like this massive gap. And, with the airstrikes in Lebanon earlier today, that really caused gold to jump up. And we've got a lot of interesting the Fed meeting the Fed meeting tomorrow, excuse me, plus employment reports and some other key economic indicators this week. So I imagine gold's going to be pretty volatile, bouncing up and down. We're on like a half a position here of QO, which is really like half of gold, so mini gold futures. So we're in on a short there around 24.55. We're going to see where that goes. And I'm really trying to get in on palladium, which may have bottomed here at 868, but I would like to get a position down 870 and lower. But I want to talk you through our active positions. So, like I said, I'm in a gold short right now. And the other main positions are in currencies and then sugar. So actually, Australian dollar, I haven't even looked at what's going on right now, but there is something going on in the market. They had a couple economic reports, and the currency is just cratering. I mean, look at this thing just falling off a cliff. This has been a phenomenal trade, probably one of the best trades that I've taken. And the only downside to this trade is that I took one of the three positions off the table a little bit earlier. This could have been riding for much further of a profit, but this thing's just, look at this thing just falling off a cliff right now. Absolutely phenomenal trade. We're holding that and letting that continue. British pound has also fallen off a cliff here. If you just look from the top here where we got in, I mean, look at this massive candle down and just this reversal candle, and the bulls are trying to fight back, but this thing is just falling off a cliff as well. Really great. And I think Canadian dollar might have bottomed here. I mean, this is probably one of the most shorted positions I've seen in a long time. And we've been in this descending channel for quite some time. We might be at the bottom here. There's no real telling. I mean, this thing could still dip down, but speculators are so heavily stacked on the short side that I just think the risk to reward was too ridiculous to not get back in on that position, even when we got stopped out. So we're back in on that position. We've actually got a pretty tight stop, so we're not going to lose much if we're wrong. But Canadian dollar just has so much room for a short squeeze. And then Swiss franc, which is really a risk-off asset. I mean, when the economy gets really shaky, like it has been with the Nasdaq just tumbling these past couple of days, the Swiss usually performs really well there, and we can actually see a nice recovery today. So we're really well in profit there as well. And then last position we are also in is sugar, which this is completely de-risked as a position. I was in on two positions and we took one off the table in order to de-risk this. So even if this reverses and we get stopped out here, I'm actually going to edit this order because we're only in on one more position. Even if that gets stopped out, we are well in profit. So we're going to let this thing ride. This broke the descending channel, and I think we get some more upside here. I would like to have a price target around $21, really close, maybe just under. But this is just a risk-free position we're in now because we took profit on half the position. So we'll let that thing ride. Positions we're looking at, we're in on the gold short. Copper, I think we missed, so we're probably not going to be touching copper anytime soon. This thing's just been down, and it looks like a reversal candle now, so probably too late. Cotton's set up. Cotton's just very, very well shorted, but we're still looking for a bottom here. We may have found it, but this is just not enough confirmation for me on just a couple of days of a couple bottom wicks here. So I would like to see some further follow through of buying and upward momentum before I'm confident that cotton has bottomed. Oats is pretty close for something that is pretty well stacked here. It actually had a bit of a pop today, but not really liking this chart. I mean, this almost looks like a head and shoulders where this thing could rip lower. And then unleaded gas is also set up, but I mean, look at how bad this chart is right now with the breakdown underneath this resistance line. Sorry, underneath the support line here. This thing is just gapped up on the open yesterday, so just not a good looking chart overall. I do like coffee as a potential short, but just we probably need a little more upward momentum to de-risk that position. Palladium we talked about, the Dow and the Russell long. These are risky trades. I am not currently in these. I am looking at a potential pullback into this kind of gray area. And then the Russell, man, I would like to see the Russell consolidate closer to the downward part of this channel before I get in on a position. But I think the play here is to go long Russell out of anything, as everything else is really having a tough time. I think we're seeing a pretty decent rotation out of the S&P and out of the Nasdaq and into the Russell, into the small caps. And I think that's going to continue for a little while. There's a lot of people out in the market saying this is the massive correction and these are all going to take a dive and yada, yada. I really don't think so. I think we had a good GDP number recently. We've got a pretty strong earnings week this week to see what's going to be going on. I think Microsoft reports. There's just a lot of really good earnings that are going to be interesting to watch today and or this week. And let me actually pull up our earnings whisper is a good channel for anybody that may be familiar with it. Let's pull up the earnings that are coming this week. So this is actually what's coming on this week. So pretty busy week, especially towards the latter half of the week. We have Intel, we have Apple, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Chevron, a lot of the energy stocks here on Friday. Moderna, Meta, Boeing. I mean, Kraft. There's just some really just large cap stocks that are doing earnings, and this is going to be really driving the direction of the market. And if we look today, today's Wednesday. Sorry, today's Tuesday. We had AMD after the bell. We had Microsoft. So let's actually pull a quick chart on these companies and see what actually happened because I did not catch this. I took part of the day off here, so I did not see what actually happened. AMD having a nice upward move. We're up about $10 on the shares from close. Microsoft is down about $10 and kind of bounced back. That's interesting. Starbucks is pretty well up. We had PayPal earlier. Really nice move up. We had BP on energy chopping around. We had Procter and Gamble. That thing got crushed. Not too big of a move, but some big red candles there. JetBlue, man, the airline stocks have been getting crushed, and JetBlue looks like it's getting a good pop to the upside. And then EA reported, looks pretty good. What else? Caesars Entertainment could be interesting. Yeah, a little upward movement. Pinterest, sell off. Yeah, tomorrow we got Boeing. Boeing is doing pretty well as far as recovering. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week to see where things go, but we're really well in positions here. Like I said, the Aussie dollar just falling off a cliff, the pound just ripping to the downside with some strong red candles. Canadian dollar potentially bottoming would be huge. Swiss franc, just risk off asset that's just starting to really catch some momentum to the upside. And sugar well in profit, positions de-risked, and then we're now looking at gold. Gold short is probably the biggest risk on asset or trade that we're in right now. If we get more uncertainty, that's not good. Gold is probably going to build momentum off of that. But if we just continue kind of this chop and everything being priced in with the rate cuts in September, if there's no real surprises from Powell, he's probably going to have a standard mix of dovish and hawkish sentiment. If we just have kind of the standard, I don't see why this isn't already priced into gold here. I don't see how we get to new highs on just no new changes to any of the inflation data or Powell's narrative of cutting rates in September. So I just don't see how this keeps momentum. I think that Lebanon strike earlier pop some momentum here, but that seemed to be really like a non-factor. So I don't know if gold is going to have enough momentum to build off of that. And silver really had a big move on that. I mean, we were trading below. We looked like really a bear trap is what happened here. We looked like we were going to sell off pretty deep on silver, and this thing just bottomed out around 27.50 and is now trading at 28.70. So really interesting how silver and gold have kind of like stalled out from the selling pressure despite being heavily long equities right now, very long as far as speculator positioning. Like 90+% of speculators are long on gold and silver, or at least gold right now. And if I pull up just to give a little bit of charting here, if we go to our metals, right? I mean, gold is just so stacked to the long side from large and small speculators. And, silver's up there, not as bad, but man, gold is just not looking good to be on the long side right now. That Lebanon attack is really the only thing I think that brought this up. But we're going to find out over the next couple of days how these positions go. So we'll talk again tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful.